Along the beach, you getting my cold shoulder. You crying like it's rain. You causing all the pain. No closure, I'm colder. You getting nothing, Joker.
Get down.
What is up, guys and girls? Welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're all having fun, and I hope you're all getting out on the water as much as possible. I know it's cold in some of the places where you are, but still, I hope you are getting out as much as you possibly can without freezing your butts off. But we're back today with another video, another wing foiling video, and this time we're going to be showing the progression we've had within the next few sessions. So the first video, if you haven't seen that, I'll put that on the top here, right? So in the first video, we saw my first attempt at wing foiling. So this was my first go ever on getting on a wing foil and giving it a go. It's quite interesting. I think you can get some tips out of it, and you can get some laughs out of it probably. Now, this video is about the next few sessions, so not immediately the second, third or whatever, but probably like, I think third and fourth session the clips are from, and you'll see kind of the progress I've had, if I'm getting up easy or not, if it's how much have I progressed basically within that small period of time. So now let's go straight into the second video and see the action here. So right off the bat, we got the setting up. Now, before we really get into things, my camera woman apparently wants to let me know that the best way to get likes, shares, subscribers, etc., etc., is to be a sexy woman.
Sexy girl.
Look at that, boys. Look at that, girls even. So for that, I want a like on the video, please. Subscribe to the channel and leave a comment with anything you want to say. I am taken, unfortunately, so sorry about that. But yeah, let's get back to the pumping there. So moving on, or rather actually not, we got here the other thing that can get me some likes apparently is Doggo. This is Rocky, my dog. So for the dog lovers out there, please like for Rocky. Anyway, back to the video. Now, pumping up, like we said, feels a bit wrong because it feels like kiting. But anyway, main tip here I would say is anchor your wings somewhere when you let it, or if you're leaving it on the beach. I have had it fly away from me at some point, but that was a lesson learned, so I'm telling you this now. Now, board out, I've already set this up on the first lesson. I haven't really gone into it too much in depth, but basically, just put everything like it looks like it should go. It's pretty simple and get it all ready. Now, getting the leashes on here, and these, everybody knows I hate the leashes. I've said it in the first video, I've said it 100 times more. I hate the leashes. They get in the way everywhere, but you do need them. So there's no way around them. I have seen this belt leash that looks a bit more easy, so maybe that's a bit better. Now here, as you can see, is you can kind of tell from my foiling inexperience, and this is what, the second time I get a board on my head. Yep. That's it there. So make sure you be careful of any waves you see in front of you when you're going into the water. But anyway, most importantly, as you can see here, is get all the leashes untangled from the foil, because I had them tangled again and I nearly started with them, and I've done that before and it was terrible. So make sure you get untangled. Now, getting on the foil here, I should mention it's been 3 weeks, maybe even a month since my last session. So I'm in the first kind of clips here, you're going to see I'm getting kind of warmed up. So that's why I don't start straight off or anything like that. Now I probably could start straight off, but I wasn't going to tire myself out. So I was just getting my footing, kind of getting comfortable on the board. And that's what you should definitely do if you're not experienced. Get comfortable, make sure you're nice and ready to go, and then you can start anything you want to do, like trying to get up on the foil. Now, about getting up on the foil, you'll see throughout this video that I do get up much easier than on the first video, and that is because I've practiced my pumping. And now when I say pumping, I'm not talking just about pumping the wing. You have to pump with your whole body. As you can see here, I am up. It's a bit unstable going right and left. That's because of the conditions. I'll mention something about them in a minute. But basically the pumping, you want to make sure you're pumping with your whole body. And that means getting the flow between the pump and the equipment and not kind of destroying that flow, and pumping in the wind, and at the same time pushing down and out on the board, kind of pushing it forwards, like you're trying to do a pop in windsurfing in a way, like you're trying to pop it out of the water, and that kind of push forwards and up will get you out of the water. But you've got to synchronize it with the pump of the sail to get you up as fast as possible. Now, about the conditions, like I said before, as you can see, I'm going up and down a lot. Obviously, that is partly my fault, but the conditions are, it's a north wind day, which means it's very messy water, choppy, quite a strong current, and really, really gusty winds. So it's not too easy if you don't know what you're doing. With the gusty winds, I would say one of my tips is, as a windsurfer, was don't kind of learn how to release the power, if that makes sense. I think in windsurfing, the problem is whenever I get a big gust or sudden point of wind, I just pull in and kind of take that power and keep it under control. But in winging, I found that you should probably release that power, let it go, don't overdo it. I don't want too much power. At least for me in the beginning, that's what it felt like. Now trying to style it a little bit on the waves here, as you can see. Well, I think I did a good job. What do you think? Strapless, first time? I am actually trying out some jumps now later on in the next sessions, the last few sessions I've had, but without straps is not really possible. I have gotten the foil out of the water a little bit and managed to land it. Now, let's get back to the video here. And just getting started, that's another thing I want to talk about, is take your time. So don't rush. I found that the better I got at wing foiling, the more comfortable I got on the kit, the more I would kind of rush to get up, which meant I wasn't really in the best position. I wasn't really balanced. So take your time. 1 foot at a time. It's better to take a long time getting started and make sure you stay on rather than rushing to get up, fall off, and having to do the whole getting up again from the beginning. So don't rush with that. 1 leg at a time. I think it's better to go front leg first, then back. I'm not sure if there's a big difference. On a big board like this, I think it doesn't really matter. But if you're using a smaller board, I think you want to focus on getting up on the front leg first when you're first standing up. Now, as you can see here, the kind of getting up and getting going and cruising is getting much easier for me. I'm getting comfortable. One thing I did have, you can't really see in the video, one thing I had a problem with was, for a few sessions at least, for a few kind of my riding up and down, I was feeling quite uncomfortable while riding. Now, what I mean uncomfortable was I kind of felt like I had to push on the front leg all the time and keep the pressure there to keep the board level. And I don't think you should do that. I think you should find the right place, get comfortable, experiment a little bit, because later on I found that I could just relax and get going and just really be chill, like you see right here, where I'm going nice and smoothly and going along. Now, as you see, the conditions are a bit different. This is the next, not the next day, maybe a few days later, when the wind did change the direction slightly, which meant we had much calmer waters. And this was much, much nicer, much, much easier. And it allowed me to kind of experiment a little bit more. So highly recommended if you can choose conditions. But he's still face planting, as you can see. But if you can choose the conditions, try to get as calm as possible when it comes to the water. Now, as you can see here, the turns are not going too well, and I'm still having slight problems with the turns. I'm not going to talk too much about them because I'm not proficient enough with them, I would say, to kind of give you my tips. But I would say the main tips for these turns would be, for the jibe, would be, first of all, start low, because I found that every time I go into a jibe, even when I release the power from the kite, it kind of flies up, so the nose lifts up and it wants to speed up and come out. So start low on the jibe, if that makes sense. So don't be too high up on the foil, be a bit lower, start low, and then it's going to come up it's going to come up as you go around. As also, you're probably going to have to focus a bit more weight on the front leg. And the other big thing, at least the mistake I was making as a windsurfer, was I was kind of carving too much. I was banking and I was kind of leaning into the turn a bit too much, and it was flying around a bit too fast and out of control, at least for me. Maybe if you're proficient on a foil, you can handle it. But I think if you were good on a foil, you wouldn't have this problem to begin with, because you know what you were doing. But basically, don't go too fast around the turn. Just let it go smoothly around. Try to keep the speed, keep the board level. That's the main thing. And don't switch your legs. Don't try to switch your legs during the jibe. I would come out, switch stance, and switch later, or switch before and go through the turn, switch stance. But don't try to switch throughout the turn, at least in the beginning. Maybe you can do that later, but not on your first goes. That's my advice there. But as you can see later on, coming into the rest of the video, I'm kind of having a bit more fun there, trying to do some rail grabs, playing around, and that's what the calmer weather does for you. It kind of allows you to experiment a bit more and feel comfortable trying out different things, whether they're stupid or not, it doesn't really matter. And also trying out to pick up more speed and stuff like that. And here's a very stylish ending to the riding, and that is, take it from me, the styliest way of jumping off your foil. Everybody do it, make it a trend. Believe me, I know something about style, yeah? Seriously, that was basically it. I hope you enjoyed the riding. It's not too much this time. I didn't want to bore you, and I know I kind of talked too much about it, but there is a lot of things to say, and I'm trying to say as much as I can without overcomplicating it or getting too much into detail. But a small recap to what I said. Let's start from the basics. Basically, when you go into the water and you're getting up on the foil, take your time, slowly, step by step. Make sure you stand up firmly and you feel comfortable doing it. Don't rush. Like, the better you get, the more you feel like, I can just jump up now, and that tends to have times where you just fall off and you end up losing a lot of time and energy for any reason. It's better to go slow in the beginning, and that will take you much nicer later on. Secondly, when you're actually riding, also get comfortable. So like I said, I was putting too much pressure on having to put too much pressure on the front foot, having to keep the board level, and you shouldn't have to do that. All I did, I moved a little bit more to the front, found the right kind of footing, and then I was just cruising along, really comfortable, really relaxed, and just flying. The other thing is about the power. Learn to release the power. This is especially for the gusty days. So it was really kind of gusting. There was a big difference between the low and the high gust, and I found that trying to pull in the power, keep it, was a mistake, at least for me. At least for a beginner, I would think it's a bit of a mistake. You got to get used to letting go of power in wing foiling. You don't need it that much. So release the power, calm it down, and keep kind of the focus. A lot of the focus throughout your riding should be on your legs, I think. So even if I was losing power and I felt like, oh, I'm not going to be able to keep going, it helped much more to kind of pump my board through my legs rather than to try and pump the kite too much at certain points, especially if the wind kind of died completely on you for a few seconds. And like I said, on the turn, I won't talk too much about that, but because I don't know too much about the turn. Like I said, I'm still having difficulty on them. I'm getting one or two around, but it's not really the turns you see a lot of the good guys doing. So basically, for the turn, I would say start low, try to keep it level, which would mean a bit more weight on the front as you're going around, and don't over carve with your whole body. Kind of just smoothly lean into it and make small changes with your feet to kind of get the board to carve around and keep the carve nice and steady. And obviously, like on any board sport, look where you want to go. That'll get you around much easier. And don't try to switch your legs throughout the turn. So you either switch them before and start your jibe, or jibe and come out, switch stance, and then switch your legs. Right? So that's basically it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you can tell kind of how fast it is to progress, and it is easy to progress. Trust me there. Like I said, the sessions are quite far apart from each other. So it's not like I'm doing this progress in 1 or 2 days, obviously, but I think I would progress even faster if I had calmer conditions and I could do it one day after another. But I'm having big breaks in between because it's winter, so we have to kind of wait for the wind. If you come to roads in the summer at Windsurfers Road, where I work, obviously, you will see that you have wind every single day. So you can do wing foiling every single day. You can learn it really fast. So if you want to come visit me there, just drop me a comment, message, whatever you like. And that's the best place to be in the summer. Trust me, I'm there every summer. Now, like I said, if you enjoyed the video, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and obviously leave a comment with any question you have, whether it's about something we talked about in the video or something completely different. Maybe you want to ask about equipment or anything like that. Just drop a comment and I will do my best to answer. Don't worry, if I don't know the answer, I'll just tell you I don't know. I'm not going to lie to you and go on talking to you about things I'm not sure about. And of course, if you think there's someone that would enjoy this video, would benefit from watching it or anything like that, just share the video with them. So like I said, guys, thank you again for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. See you on the water.